Alright, let me do the sound test. Alright, perfect, good to go. Alright, we're continuing with Time Princess and it's gender swap Romy and Julius. Or more like a weird sequel where the Montagues and the Capulets continue hating each other, but now because they blame each other for what happened to Romeo and Juliet. After such a hectic day, I am more concerned than ever about the situation in Verona. For this feud to end, I must start with the heart of the dispute, the Montague and the Capulet families. It's getting late and I need to change into a ball gown and meet Bellona. Lord Capulet and Julia have finished addressing the guests when we reach our destination. The dazzling ballroom is filled with numerous guests decked out in their finest, and the ball commences with clear melodies of violin and the lute, blending together in harmony. Hey, over here! Bellona drags me and beside a waiter and hands me a glass of white wine. It's not bad here. I knew that you enjoy yourself. Illuminated by the candlelight, Bellona's smile below her mask is mysterious and alluring. You're right, and we can act as we please with his mask to conceal our identities. The waiter rings a silver bell and a prelude sound, and the guests set their wine glasses down and bow to each other. I may not know who you are, lady, but may I have the honor of this dance? Aha, haha, of course. I danced with Bellona twice, and once each with two random men, and no one asked me my name nor speaks any unkind words. The ball gowns and suits glimmer in the light, and endless laughter fills the hall. The scene is perfect, it's like a dream. It's a stark contrast to the day's events. I wonder which is reality and which is just a dream. The song tempers up before I can come to an answer, and I exchange goodbyes with my dance partner and look for Bellona. There she is at the other end of the hall, and she seems to be enjoying her conversation. I should stick to a plan and learn what I can about the Capulets. Huh. How are we gonna you to show up here? He looks familiar. I searched through Ronnie's memory and recall this man strolling the streets and participating in mass. I remember now his name is T-Ball. What are you looking at? I finally think T-Ball's the name that I gave to a cat in one of my books. It's a good name for a cat. I can smell the stench of a Montague rat even when they're hiding under a mask. Someone from the Montague family, who is it? That old Foggy's precious daughter. Impossible, how did he recognize me? I heard Lady Romy is a passionate and frank person, and a responsible and generous woman who has never participated in the Montague Capulet feud, despite being a Montague herself. Uncle, you're saying? I haven't seen eye to eye with La Montague in years, but that's between us and does not concern the younger generation. And it's Julius' 20th birthday, and our regret is such an occasion ended up to sour not because of our feud. Don't find near the birthday boy. Tibor attempts to speak, but backs down after seeing the cold expression on Lord Capulet's face. I understand, Uncle. Lord Capulet seems like a reasonable person. However, Tibor might make a scene if I stay, especially now that my identity has been exposed. However, Tibor, actually, it's too risky, actually. I shouldn't risk it. I made my way to Spelona, intent on leaving as soon as possible. May I have the honor of this dance, my lady? Huh? The sudden appearance of a young man startles me, and behind his elaborate mask I can see the light reflected in the deep pools of his eyes. I know I have to leave immediately, and yet I cannot help but extend my hand out to his. Huh? Can't refuse to dance to the birthday boy. He leads me to the dance floor, and the other guests shuffle away to give us space, and my dress billows like flowers in full bloom as we dance. I hear the whispers of the noble ladies. Who is she? Is Artus there with a mask on? She doesn't look familiar, but she should be the daughter of one of the capital's close allies. How infuriating. She's the first lady Julius has invited to a dance outside of the Capulet family. You're Julius, Lord Capulet's oldest son. The man nods in response, and a tinge of hopelessness creeping up the smile below the mask. I thought you knew who I was, and I gave a formal address to the guests before the ball started. I was late and I missed it. Don't worry, you only missed a long draw of formalities. His voice and figure are familiar. I wonder why. I stare intently at his face, though it's hidden behind a mask, and the scene of familiarity grows. Is there something on my face? No, I'm sure that was just rude of me. I chase my gaze away in a hurry. It's a sign of a good partner's upbringing to focus on your dance partner, and you don't have to be so reserved. There it is again, the sense of familiarity in his manner of speech and his skillful way of consoling others. I remember now, he's the one who helped me earlier. Julius glances at me and confusion evident on his face, and I must be in some way to the final notes of a romantic melody ring in the air. The time flies exceptionally fast when you're enjoying yourself. Would you like to invite, I would like to invite you to for another dance, but it seems like there's something on your mind. Alright, I'll speak. Did we meet on the street outside the church earlier in the day? Yo let out a deep chuckle, and it's a pleasant homage to the one I had earlier. You're right, our altruistic Lady Rowney. So you really didn't recognize it, and I thought you were playing dumb. Why didn't you reveal your identity when we first met? I heard that you never involved yourself in the dispute between our families. However, my family servant was the one stirring up trouble. If I had revealed myself then, you would have been worried and seen that I was protecting him. These concerns are valid. After all, it's only been a short while since a squabble between two servants almost led to a duel to the death between the two househeads. You're a lovely person, Lady Romney, and I couldn't afford to be careless, and I didn't want to lose my chance. You knew I would turn up tonight, didn't you? And that's what you told me I will find out your name soon, and when I asked for you earlier. Think of it as anticipation for a meeting instead. And I had hopes that the Lord Montague's oldest daughter also yearns for peace between our families, and she would give me a chance to know her. Of course, I won't stop you from leaving if you hate dancing with a Capulet who deceived you. It's as though he can read someone's mind with a single glance. You don't have to worry, I swear upon my family's honor, that I will not stop you when you leave, nor mar your reputation afterwards. I have my concerns, but it's, as you said, I do not wish for the feud between our families to worsen. That's why I'm willing to place my trust in you. Surprise flickers across his face, but is quickly replaced by his usual warm smile. That's Lady Ronnie for you, and I knew I made a right judge of character. To tell you the truth, I came here because I wanted to get a better grasp of the Capulet family situation. As the Capulets here, it would really help if you share your intel with me. This place is dismal, so words are not meant to be spoken with so many people around. How about going to the garden after the ball ends? Well, sure, why not? It's too late to worry about it since I'm already here, and Julius doesn't seem like a bad person too. I should tell Bellona just to be safe. Alright, but I can only stay for a short while unless of my family worry. I understand, don't worry, I won't put you on the spot. Julius and I switch part dance partners to avoid attracting unnecessary attention. The time passes by in a flash, and the last song of the night ends the masquerade. I got caught up in the moment and accepted Julius' invitation, and now that I calm down, I'm starting to feel uneasy. Aren't you coming with us, Romney? I have some matters to attend to. What could be more important than ending you meet someone special at the ball? Oh, I just you're right. There's someone who caught my eye. Rather than talk my way out of it, it's easy to tell Bellona the truth. Good for you, and now you can finally forget about that jerk. And it's someone I know. We met him at other balls before, and he's from one of the families we know. You don't have to wait up for me. He'll send me home later. All right, don't stay out too late, and we don't need Lord and Lady Mountain you worrying about you. After watching Verona leave, I followed Julius' instruction and slid past the hidden door. I found myself in a garden full of flowers, and in the distance a marble gazebo sits among the sea of roses swaying in the evening breeze. Julius browsed further, and he appears to be lost in thought. He is nowhere as high spirit as he was in the ball, and did something happen? Sorry, and you must have been waiting for a while. Julius raises his head upon hearing my voice, and his previous tired expression morphs into a warm smile. Julius raises his head upon hearing yeah. Not at all, I'm just glad you decided to come. We fall silent after exchanging pleasantry, and Julius' eyes shift to a corner of the garden, and his mouth has faded away. He's thinking about something to be distracted on his birthday, and it must be a matter of great importance. While I'm speculating about what it could be, Julius turns around and looks at me in the eyes. My surprise must be apparent, and Julius recycled before attempting to do this as a cough. Why are you looking at me? What's the matter? Don't worry, you can ask me anything. In that case, back at the bar you said you had something to tell me. What is it? I look at Julius straight in the eye, and he locks eyes with me briefly before shifting his gaze. It's just like what the others have said. The forthright Lady Ronnie is unlike other ladies. Well, those are the perks that comes with being the head of a family household. I can be as direct and forthright because of money, while other peasant ladies that are not going to be the head of a household gotta be like shy and meek. What do you mean? You must be wary of your reputation in Verona. And what do you think? What do the people think of me? And those who have made you mention your generosity, kindness, and beauty, and their words only fueled by desire to meet you in person. And I must say I'm far from disappointed. And Julius speaks to me in a gentle and elegant tone, and he weighs each word carefully, even his smile is impeccable. It reminds me of the young nobles I met at a family gathering, all eager to flatter me. While Julius' speech may be more tactful and pleasing to the ear, it's no different from the superficial rhetorics I'm used to. The man I encountered earlier in the day was merely a facade of his true nature. I am starting to regret coming here. Did you ask me to meet you so you could tell me all this? I, like, dude, flatteries will get you nowhere, mister. Well, thank you for your invitation. Thank you for wasting my time. It's almost time for me to go. Wait. I know I shouldn't say this, but can you please stay? Sorry I get nervous when speaking to women my age. Is that so? It didn't seem to me the case earlier today. What I mean to say was I get nervous when speaking to a woman I like. Did I hear that correctly?
What happened to Bostav or life beyond the
What
link?
happened to both stuff beyond the link? Wait, well, it's gender swap, so he doesn't have to.
He
Whatever.
doesn't do poetry in this one.
He doesn't do poetry in this one because he's Julius or Juliet.
Mm.
I'm the one who has to do poetry. Romy, the gender swap Romeo. Whatever. Julius' sudden confession catches me off guard. He doesn't utter another word after the cough, and I need to change the subject. My eyes start back and forth between setting on the bed roses. The roses sure are blooming beautifully, and it's definitely spend more time in my garden if we were in full of roses. I usually spend my time tending to this garden, and roses are my favorite too. You planted all these flowers. I'm surprised. Normally, no one almost don't lift a finger or do nothing. Yes, when my mother was still alive, she loved spending time here, and it is that hard for me to see tending the garden. I'm not going to lie, you don't look like the type who enjoys manual work. You seem too rich to be doing manual stuff. Haha, I never knew that's your impression of me. So your passion for gardening and roses came from your mother. Yeah, she had a heart of gold, and she would always tell father to be involved with more practical jobs and avoid needless fights. Well, all fights are needless. Julius gazes thoughtfully at the roses, and there's a sad and distant look on his face. What are your thoughts on the feud between the Montagues and the Capulets? Julius catches me by surprise, and his smile carries a hint of seriousness. Don't worry, just be forward yourself. I won't miss words, then. I find the entire thing extremely silly. The feud has been going on for generations, and many reasons have been cited, but in the end, it really is down to plain greed. To quench the thirst for money and fame, both families have turned a blind eye to the suffering they cause for the countless innocent. It's basically two millionaires families trying to like drive each other into poverty, cause like Highlander, there can only be one. All those sacrifices and the future just as bleak as the present. I suppose you're giving this much thought to the whole thing. I tend to be out and about, sticking my nose in places it doesn't belong. And it's like you said, I am unlike the other ladies. It's not a bad thing to be different. All you have to do is be yourself, Lady Ronnie. Same for you too, Julius. Something grazes my fingers, and when I look down, I notice I have an unknowingly brushed a rose off its stem. I'm sorry, It's fine. It couldn't resist the touch of your fingertips. Julius picks up the rose and looks into my eyes, and he reaches for my hair and gently places the rose. And a yell breaks the silence, and the rose falls to the ground, and Julius looks as if he's been roused from a dream, and he frowns in the direction of the sound. I'm sorry, it seems that we have to stop here. Yeah, it's a good thing he didn't put a rose in like behind my ear because like as somebody who couple of rose bushes, the roses that you buy in the store, the reason why they don't have thorns is because they are pre-removed. But getting a rose that's raw from like the field, it's gonna be thorny as hell. So yeah, man, don't worry about it. Tonight has been an unforgettable night. It's the same for me. And he points to a nearby wall covered in vines. Over there, there's a door that leads to the main street, and I'm going to find out what happened. Okay, and can we meet again? I instantly regret saying that, and it doesn't seem like something I would say. Well, maybe she's possessed by the spirit of Romeo. Of course. After leaving the Capulet garden, I ran into the shouting facing the distance, and a brief sigh of relief when I spot a familiar stream. As I stroll along the street, I hear something ringing. It seems like it's coming from deep inside the alley. Surely there's no harm in taking a peek. Even under the moonlight, the alley is dim, and I inch forward cautiously, holding onto the wall. What is that? A faint flickers, and I hold my breath as a figure turns the corner. And I can't hear what they're muttering, but a chill runs down my spine. I shouldn't stay here for long, I better. Who's there? The figure lunges towards me. Oh no, An invisible force grasps hold of me, and despite muscles mustering all my strength and break free. Wait, there be wishes in Romeo and Juliet? Whatever. So I runs down my cheek, and the figure appears to be floating quickly towards me. Yeah, am I about to be? And suddenly flames shoot through the air, and the figure screams, fleeing into the dark. Okay, that escalated. Don't be scared, I'm here. A familiar presence envelops me. Calm down. Lawrence mumbles something while holding my hand, and the force that restrained me gradually dissipates. So there be witches and demons, whatever. I latched onto his arm, and my legs had turned to jelly. Run, there's someone in the alley. Relax yourself, and that thing is gone. Okay, so it was a thing. Don't worry. Lawrence tries to pass me on the head, and I'm still clinging onto my arm. So aside from like a bloody war between the Montagues and the Capulets, now there be demons. Alright.
Oh, maybe it's Queen Mad.
Maybe it's cool. Oh, like the fairies from Midsummer Night Dream?
No, Queen Mad is a fairy that they mentioned in while they're walking up to the.
Oh, maybe it's like Queen Mad because like, they mention a fairy in like Romeo and Juliet among the lots of among the many weird ramblings that he did. He mentioned a Queen Mad, and I guess they went with it. It's a weird Romeo and Juliet cinematic Shakespeare universe. Alright, whatever. Lawrence tries to pat me on the head, but I'm still clinging onto his arm. And I realize I crumble his clothes. That thing, isn't it human? It's some unclean. And let's not talk about it. What happened? Wait, is some unclean what? Witch, demon, vampire, alien? About the eighth dimensional, eighth dimensional being? Mrs. Spiggity? I had a strange sound as I was walking down the street after the ball. Well, she said she had a ringing. Is it a sinister bell ringer woman from Bloodborne? Is it a werewolf? Lauren was down the alley to check it out, and I followed timidly behind him. There's a bare wall where the figure was standing, and there are marks on the wall. Okay, so this looks like a magic circle. Magic circle. More specifically, it looks like the magic circle from like Fullmetal Alchemist. The homunculus, the one that's used to make homunculus. It could have something to do with demon. That's such a Catholic. That's such a Catholic priest answer. That it doesn't matter what supernatural thing is doing. It must be the work of Satan. Never mind that it could be an alien or something or a fairy. No. It's just Satan. It's just the devil doing devil stuff. Do such evil force really exist? She'd be like, wait, the devil's real? I thought that was just something that the priest used to do to scare us into being good children.
Okay.
Demons and magic circle. And all these markings have anything to do with the evil presence you mentioned. Lawrence remains silent, and there's a green look on his face. He kneels to take a closer look at the glowing marks on the wall and takes out something to note them down. He stands up and pats me on the shoulder. It's not safe here. I'll walk you home here. No fucking kidding. The ball ended some time ago, and why are you wandering the streets instead of heading straight home? I didn't mean to cause you to worry. I'm sorry. Why would you? All that matters is that you're safe. Dude, you're a woman. You shouldn't be out in the middle of the night. There be demons on the prowl. The moon is high, and bloodborne stuff are happening. Lawrence suddenly stops on his stride, and he has a great look on his face. Don't tell anyone what happened back there. If I told anyone, they're going to think I'm a crazy, witch-possessed, hysterical woman, so... I don't know what's going on, but his stunning expression out of the gravity. Alright, I won't. So there be demons. Okay. I am forget to get la. The left me exhausted, and I'm over around the house in the morning and I retreat to my room for a nap. My lady, are you awake? Oh, yes, come in. What's the matter? You have a couple of visitors, my lady, and they're waiting outside the manor. Who are they and why not let them in? They insist on waiting outside. As for who they are, you will know once you see them. Why the suspense, I wonder. I step out of the house and set my eyes on the two mysterious visitors. One is a jolly, impeccably dressed woman, and the other a thin man with eyes downcast is standing next to her. Good morning, Lady Ronnie. I am Master Julius' governess, and this is my servant, and we are here to deliver a message on behalf of Master Julius. She unbuckled and collar to reveal the capital insignia embroidered on her underdress above her chest. Julius' governesses, and couldn't he come here personally? Like a governess is like those who didn't like go to like public schools and stuff. They had like a personal teacher that taught them everything from like regular math and stuff to like how to act, how to hold the spoon, how to dance, how many, how long it should take to poop, etc. Because like everything be matters of etiquette and stuff. And sometimes, and since Julius lost his like mother and stuff, then like the governess will definitely would fill up that empty role. What does he want to tell me? Master Julius hopes to meet you in the church for a chat. First it is the garden and now the church. When? At noon today, and Master Julius says you need only go if you are in the mood to, my lady. He's simply asking for a casual meeting. The church is a neutral venue, and meeting him there in the daytime shouldn't be a problem. Alright, please tell him that I'll meet him at the church. The governor smiles brightly, delighted with my response. Excellent, I shall inform Master Julius at once. Come along, Peter. The governess curtsies to me before leaving, and with a servant following her. There's still some time before noon, and let me change into some suitable clothes.
Now I remember that it needs to be
Now I remember that it gotta be like a fashion game. I hurry to the church as the midday sun hangs overhead. And Julius is standing alone in front of the church altar, and it seems he's been waiting for some time. Am I late? No, you're right on time. I was here early. We both fall silent and perhaps influenced by the stillness of the church. After a moment, Julius speaks. Thank you for coming to the ball last night, Romy, and getting to dance with you is something I cherish deeply. Me too, and I forgot to wish you a happy birthday yesterday. It's not too late to say it now. Huh. Lawrence slowly approaches us from a corner, and his ears enfold his arm as he looks at Julius. A look of surprise flashes across Julius's face, but he turns to Lawrence's gaze and is quickly replaced by his usual smile. Lawrence, how long have you been there? Since the couple's young master greeted you eagerly when you entered the church. So he's been here since I arrived. Lawrence and Julius stare at each other intently without a word, like lions about to fight. Oh god, yeah. I can already tell how they mounted you in Capital if you started centuries ago. They probably got in a beef or a chic. That's strange. I was not aware that any disagreement between them. Hoping to break the tension, I decided to introduce them. Ahem. Lawrence, this is my new friend Julius. A friend, eh? What's the matter? He got ahead of you. Yeah, yes, you've been here longer, but Julius said that he liked me first, so take that. Nothing. How about you introduce me? Why is he irritable today? Julius, Lawrence is. Lawrence is a buddy of mine and the bishop's adopted son. You're my buddy. Is that all? What else is there? What, can a woman and a guy just be friends? Is there a law that says that speaks against that? You, Lawrence, are just the body. I mean, I probably figure that maybe your father and you probably joined the church or something and had to be an also celibacy. So what do you like be jealous about? Mary God. Nothing, whatever you say. What's gotten into him? This place is a sacred sanctuary, not a back garden for frivolous get-togethers. I would ask the young couple Lord to live in a solid identity Montague's name and future. That was uncalled for, and I can't stay silent. It's not like that, Lawrence, and Julius just wanted to have a harmless chat. And perhaps on the surface he does, and only he knows what he's really planning. Julius' mouth doesn't subside despite Lawrence's accusation, but his eyes are cold while he remains still as a statue. I haven't been inappropriate, and the church is a place where all will be heard after all. As for having any other motives, I'd like to question Sir Lawrence instead. Are you sure that you have that what you said is purely meant to protect the lady's honor?
It says all will be heard except except women and the gay
Yeah,
and
yeah,
gypsies and
yeah. Like right there, the church all will be heard except this long list of all of the above. It's a woman, foreigners, people that are not like the proper skin color, cause like the Catholic Church back then during like the Renaissance period was very racist, and not just with European, but also if you like I think Protestantism was also happening back then. Like yeah, it was a hellhole. So and the
all will be heard
99.
except for all of the
All
superstition.
will be heard except for this long list of people that like have been cast aside because of reason, mostly money reasons. Because I remember that the Catholic Church back then was also selling indulgences, and a bunch of other things. There, some guy wrote 99 theses about it and nailed it in front of our church. Martin Luther, if you don't know, whatever. Moving along. I think you know very well whether the church is being just or fair despite claiming to be a neutral party. Law's fault and the implicit accusation of the church has hit a sore spot. Well, he be like, the church is just hypocrisy and stuff. Julius, that's not how Lawrence and the bishop are like, and just because the Pope be corrupt during this time period, because like I think that time it was the Borgia Pope, the ones that were doing like a bunch of orgies and using the church as their own personal piggy bank. There's even like was it a Netflix show or an HBO show all about the Borgias?
Yeah, there's a cat in the background. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah. Do you see a cat?
Right over here.
Oh yeah, I see it. Like my brother saw like a cat back there. Don't worry, Lady Bunny. I'm not questioning their characters. Though judging by Sir Lawrence's words and actions, his judgment of the Montagues and Capulets seem to be rather biased. The young lord can stop playing the victim. I find it pitiful that you only use what you know from the few to understand everything. Well, I think there's no need to ask which one of us is more laughable. If their eyes should real daggers, there'll be blood on the floor. This needs to stop. And as I search for a topic to steer the conversation towards, the mural behind the altar becomes into view.
What's with the belt on Julius?
It's different from the other church murals I think, for it depicts many Templars on their horses charging towards a demon. Well, the Knights of Templar were very sketchy back in the day, and even the Catholic Church burned like most of them to death, and then they had to flee to Portugal. That was outside the range of the Catholic Church when they went to kill all of the Knights of Templar. Yeah.
And the Holy Grail.
And the Holy Grail, like they say that that's among the things that the Knights of Templar stole to Portugal in the Holy Grail. Mm. So if you're looking for it, try to search Portugal. Like I remember seeing like a weird, those travel shows that they show you like fancy houses. One of the fancy houses was like owned by the last descendant of like the Knights of Templar. He'd be like, "Here's the Holy Grail that everyone was looking for." Probably fake, whatever. I've been so curious about this mural, but I can't remember how it came to be. Then there's also the weird objects of worship, the oil, the rusty spear, and the altar. The lance of Longinus? On the Nemosenko style, it says, shouldn't the church worship the Lord or the Holy Mother? The more I think about it, the weirder I find it, and I blurt out my questions. Maybe a sketchy Catholic church. So does anyone know how this mural came to be? My sudden question breaks the tension, and I swivel my gaze between the two of them.
I have questions. Are we still in Romeo and Juliet?
My brother has a question. Are we still in Romeo and Juliet? Well, it says that it was 200 years after Romeo and Juliet, and there are churches dedicated to specific holy relics. That's actually a thing, And I guess if it's a lance, maybe it's the lance that Saint George used to like kill a dragon. Like back in Renaissance period, if it was like a dragon getting mauled by a knight, it was usually Saint George. Just cool, whatever. Seconds pass before Lawrence finally sighs. I told you before, did you forget again? Yeah, sorry. It's fine, there's no harm in telling you again, but I must ask if John Capilello is interested. My governor used to tell me the story of the mural, and it's been a pleasure to reminisce my childhood memories with a lovely lady. Huh, this is not a fairy tale to be told as a bedtime story for some young master. Lawrence huffs before he begins to recount. About 300 years ago, the city was in a worse state than it is now, and not only was there frequent wars, there was also a demon. Now, that escalated quickly.
Which Romeo and Juliet book is this?
Which Romeo and Juliet book is this? Whatever. We had demons. There be demons, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
What's up?
ancient.
Why lights beyond the window breaking? It's a demon.
What's up? Beyond the only window breaks. There is a demon. The memories of the incident last night flashed through my mind. It's just a myth, and you don't have to be afraid. Julius thinks I am afraid of demons and tries to comfort me gently. Don't worry, Rodney. The devil isn't real. Lawrence flicks me a look and quietly shakes his head. No, yeah, the devil is real. He's real. A real demon isn't that easy to get rid of. It's Lawrence trying to tell me that the mysterious person I met last night wasn't a demon. And I'm talking about a real event in history that took place right here in Verona. It's not a myth. It's debatable. Cause like a lot of history gets rewritten like every time there's like a new government or ruler, king and whatever. Cause even as early as the Roman time, history was used in order to execute as a propaganda machine of like the ruling caste to tell them like everything in history led up to me being in charge and you had to accept it. Cause of God or Zeus or whatever. Or demons. Then for the reminder, Lawrence throws him a look of disdain before continuing. The demon terrorized and ravaged Verona for years, and his power was immense and no one in Verona could destroy it. The Papal House sent 200 Templars on a crusade against the demon, and over half of them were sacrificed to no avail. Finally, the remaining Templars evacuated the denizens, and they placed other holes in the holy oil blessed by the saints and set the city ablaze.
I genuinely want Shakespeare's ghost to be here to listen to this.
What the hell is it? Like, they started with Romeo and Juliet, but then at a certain point they got bored and then they threw demons in there for the measure. Okay. I guess they wanted to add more action, whatever. It takes a lot to set a city ablaze, and to think it happened right where I was standing, where I was born and even raised. The fire destroyed the core which the demon had been relying on. Of course, he has to have a video game weakness, and it also burned the demon's body. But demons are from hell, and hell's fire. Hellfire. In my skin, this burning desire was leading me to sin. Hunchback or Notre Dame, whatever. When the demon was forced to reveal his true self, the knights stabbed them with their spears that were coated with holy blood, and the demon was stake and sealed within a stone coffin. This is insane. Then the holy oil and holy spear are. Lawrence nods when I look towards the oil and the rusty spear on the altar. That's them. What about the stone coffin? It's right underneath. That looks like a table. In the catacombs, can I take a look? Lawrence shakes his head and his expression is even more solemn than before. There's no need to go down there, and I begged father to take me there a long time ago, but the coffin is empty. But how? Don't worry, since it's empty, it proves that this is just a baseless myth. Just something that somebody invented in order to like get money.
Or to fill up this, to
Or,
add some action into this story.
or to fill a display. Though there's another possibility. The demon has long escaped his coffin. What? And after a moment of silence, dun dun dun, Julius chuckles. Julius,
Simon Bellman walks in and starts speaking.
apologies for my lack of manner, but I must disagree with Sir Lawrence's bizarre views. It's not the demon wreaking havoc in the city, and how do you explain the fights that have been going on for centuries in Verona? If a giant tree, if a
What?
giant tree has been decaying roots, then no matter how the gardener trains it, the tree will never recover its lustrous green. Decaying roots. Do you think the city is corrupted at the core? Well, is this guy, is Julius from like an apprentice to Ra's al Ghul or something? Because burning a whole city to a town because it's evil, that's a Ra's al Ghul move. They wanted to do that in like the first Batman movie, destroy Gotham. So they're gonna do that to Verona. And we know that Ra's al Ghul has been stomping around for like thousands and thousands of years, so why not in Verona as well?
Why doesn't Simon Bellman show up and deal with it?
Julius' mouth leaving the question hanging. Regardless of whether I speak with my thought here, Verona will not change. Rather than wasting time talking about myths, I'd rather be more practical and actually help the people. We don't need a young master like you who lives in luxury judging what's practical or not. The priest's son be like, you're too super spoon to know what problem affects the common man. For this, we will have to agree to disagree.
If you're making a group report based on this for school, then just don't.
Like if you're copying notes for like a book report, gender, Romeo and Juliet don't. Like Shakespeare has been thrown out the window at this point. Demons. Oh my god. Julius shakes his head, still smiling, but he has lost interest in explaining to Lawrence. I said what I wanted, and I look forward to seeing you again, Lady Romney. Julius bows out with grace and a fleeting smile. It's best if you see him less in the future. Oh yeah, you will like that, wouldn't you? And looking at the door Julius went through. Why? What do you mean why? He doesn't respect the gods. Wait, what? Is he even a Catholic priest? Why is he speaking in plural? Uh, Whatever.
But they just mentioned Virgin Mary. Like,
But they just mentioned Virgin Mary and Jesus Christ. But why is he speaking about gods in plural? See, this is another sign that Lawrence wasn't raised by a Catholic bishop or by a paganist posing as a Catholic bishop that uses a weird lance to fight demons. Whatever. It's just he's a Catholic and his reason. Wait, are these reasons not enough? Dude, you're nuts. I'm less speechless seeing my woefulness. Lawrence passed me on the shoulder. Forget it. I'm not forcing you to do anything. I just hope you'll be more vigilant and don't be so heartless. At least if you would say, I like you and I am having a hissy jealous fit. Well, it's kind of like the example of the person who doesn't eat and doesn't let you eat. Which is like el que come no deje comer. Which is like the Cuban way of saying somebody who doesn't do the mess around or like sleep with people and doesn't allow others to get busy. Alright, I got it. You can stop nagging me now. I covered my ears and ran to the door, making a face at Lawrence. I'm going home. You don't need to send me back. I leave quickly as though it's or someone. Yeah, run. I recall the story I just heard as I walked down the street. And it sounds incredible. No, seriously, it sounds incredible. But it's utter nonsense too. Yeah, especially the nonsense part. Yeah, especially when the demon shows up. Does anyone remember that when the demon showed up in Romeo and Juliet? Or maybe I haven't read Shakespeare in quite a long time. I recall the harrowing experience that night. And if I hadn't encountered anything like it, I might have the same view as Julius. But then again, I did see a demon. Julius said something about decaying roots, and that's strange too, and I think as bad as he says. I can't seem to come to a conclusion no matter how hard I think. Wait, where am I? The surroundings look familiar, and I have been so lost in thought that I hadn't noticed where I was going. Oh, those two are. I look down the street to see two familiar figures, and one is Julius, who just bid me farewell, and the other is Paris. Should I ask him for directions?
Yeah, we already finished King's Choice?
Did we finish Kitchen?
I think we did, yeah.
What was King? Oh no, that one can only be done specific time.
Oh,
Although I'm not good terms with Julius and still a Montague, and it's better I avoid them. I leave quickly, and not long after going down a different street, I bump into someone familiar. Let me see. Funny. We can go two paths. Alright, let's go this way to chapter 14. In a daze, I make out a tall figure in the distance. Lawrence. Huh? Why are you here? I got lost, and what's happening here? The place is bustling with activity, and I watch people pass by me as I shuffle to move out of their way. The church is doing a bazaar, and there's also a free clinic, so many come here to seek medical treatment. A bazaar like the one Bellona and I saw at the church.
really acrobat.
Yeah, the background looks like acrobat now. Whatever. And also, I remember Jesus Christ once went to a bazaar in a church, and then he brought out a whip and whipped out everyone. So Simon Belmont style. It's one of those stories that they don't read out church, but like it happened in Matthew, like very early, that it'd be like, the house of the Lord is not a bazaar. For me, whatever. The point is, Jesus doesn't like church bazaars. It's in the Bible. Lawrence raises a hand in front of him, cutting a path through the crowd. It's too crowded here, let's talk over there. Lawrence leads me to a quieter area. How do you get lost, and were you daydreaming? I was just wondering. Hey, there are a lot of patients today. Can the doctors cope? Your reflexes haven't improved much, but you are quick when it comes to changing the subject. Noticing my guilt, Lawrence stops teasing me and patiently answers my question. I invited many fellow doctors earlier, and in fact we gathered most of the doctors in all of Verona.
Lawrence only has 10 lines in Romeo and Juliet. What is this?
But the number of patients is too overwhelming. Aren't you still under training? I have full confidence in Lawrence's medical skills, but I tease him a little to calm his nerves. You're not a full-fledged doctor. Are you sure your skills make the grade? Oh, well, hey, don't underestimate me. I know all about the different types of leashes that have to be used depending on the weird humors that are affecting the patient's mind.
I also know about poison slugs.
And I also know poison slugs. And what else did doctors used to use back then?
No,
Bleeding?
Specific was a poison expert. That was his thing.
Yeah, like Lawrence specific in Romeo and Juliet was a poison expert. Lawrence passed. Why was a Catholic priest an expert on poisons? Like that's another thing.
Was an apothecary.
He had a friend who was a sketchy apothecary that made weird poisons and like, why the hell did he give two poisons to Julius? One that was legit 100% a poison, knowing that teenagers are like the real villain in the story is Lawrence, who gave two stupid teenagers bad advice and poison that actually kills them. Like seriously, whatever. Lawrence passed me on the head out of habit. I've seen many a patient these past 2 years and undoubted my treatments. Well, well, you're a free doctor, so peasants gotta take what they can get. So you're a natural. That's amazing. Oh, you. Well, the session is almost over. Wait here and I'll send you home after I wrap things up. Okay. He sat me down before heading back into the crowd. How are you feeling? Any aches or discomfort? I recall the awful episode after the masquerade ball. I'm fine. How about you? I'm alright. How about you? I am more worried about Lawrence. He didn't say anything after I interrupted his night, and I recall how concerned he was when he investigated the magic circle.
Wait, you can romance Lawrence?
Yeah. Ah, you're worried about me. And he passed his paces slow. And I look up in response to his jesting tone and find myself staring into his smiling gray eyes. And I feel my cheeks turning warm and hastily look away. Of course I'm worried about you, and we've been friends since we were kids. Friends, huh? And I suddenly feel Lawrence's breath next to me, and I panic and look up, and suddenly he's close to wrap me in his arm. What is it? I press against his chest, and I can smell a mix of sweet and bitter herbs in his clothes.
What?
Don't move. Someone's following us. His voice is low and great, contrasting with his gentle action, and I calm down almost instantly. Is it Satan again? Because now you gotta ask a legitimate question whenever there's a disturbance in the force in Verona. Because they established it. They can't according to Anton Chekhov's gun, you can't introduce a demon in Act 1 and not have it show up elsewhere. In a tree. Don't look behind us. Act normal. He pretends to help me adjust my clothes and he continues to walk next to me.
Wait, how is he adjusting her clothing? A woman.
How does a guy adjust a woman? Well, I guess maybe my bonnet fell out of the way or on my weird skirt shifter or whatever. Like women needed help getting dressed back then cause like first it's the underdress, then the petticoat, then the other coat, and then the underdress, and then the overdress, and then the regular dress, and then another dress, and then the accessory, and then you were done after 8 hours. Do you see who it is? Looks to be Tybalt. That's the Capulet. As you remember his faithful look on how he almost caused a scene in front of Lord Capulet. Why is he following us? Lawrence doesn't reply and quickens his pace and I match his speed.
I feel Tebow is a good dog.
Well, it was a... Alright, it should be safe now. And we turn a few corners to make sure Tybalt is off our trail. You didn't tell anyone about the incident, did you? I shake my head. I didn't forget his advice. He may look calm, but I sense anxiety in his voice. Lawrence, what's going on? Is there really a demon lurking about? I'm asking you a question, Kiev. Evil forces, a magic circle being followed. They must be connected or the work of an enemy stand. And it's clear Lawrence knows more than he's letting on. Why won't you tell me? I gaze at him important and he wavers. Tell me. Ronnie, Lawrence, what are you doing here? I yelled by the cheerful voice. Bellona. Where did she come from? Did you two? Bellona looks between me and Lawrence. Argue again.
Like, have you seen Macbeth around here?
Were you eavesdropping this whole time? Lawrence retorts hastily. I was... I'm taking supplies to the bazaar when I saw you and I came to say hello. Bellona's taken aback by Lawrence's tone. And why would I eavesdrop on you? Do you two really argue? No, let's go. I'll escort you both home. Lawrence sighs heavily and says nothing more. Lawrence leaves immediately after bringing us to the Montague Manor. How rude. Oh, now I have to change clothing. All right. We're time to be like, oh wait, we are fashion. We gotta do the clothing thing because it's a fashion story with demons and the devil. And
It's like the part where he was helping her adjust her clothing. That was like,
yeah, we should have done that earlier when the part where he was adjusting clothing. After I change out of my festive attire, Bellona quickly notices my absent expression. Are you alright? I'm fine. Besides Laura's action, I'm still confused about that incident that night. Yeah, I'll be confused too. Everyone who's read Romy and Juliet is confused is confused as hell right now. Ever since the demon incident. I wonder what Lauren was about to tell me. Romney, are you? Bellona's unusual hesitation makes me nervous. Does she know what happened after the ball? Are you in love? Huh? Who brought that on? It is if it is what I think it is, you shouldn't be undecided and forget that the man who turned you down. It is his loss. Bellona's question is so far of what I'm concerned about that I burst out into laughter. Dude, I'm not thinking about whether I'm in love or not. I'm worried about the actual devil that showed up in Romeo and Juliet. Well, in Romeo and Juliet's gender swap version. But I must admit, a thought figure appeared in my mind when I heard her question. Lawrence. It's Lawrence, isn't it? I knew it. You finally noticed the good man who's right under your nose. Good man? Is that how you see him? Have you been together so long you don't notice anymore? That's not good. If he's so popular, why has no lady expressed her affection towards him? Well, because maybe they think that he's gonna like, well, he's not a priest yet. He's a priest's son. He's apprentice. He's like, not too late for him to turn that boat around. Because he thinks of you as a what? Oh, I shan't say anymore. As a loose woman, I'll shock you, Bellona. Maybe he'll tell you himself someday that he thinks I'm a loose woman. Memories flood my mind, and as a child, Lawrence was quiet and showed maturity beyond his year. And he read a copy manuscript whenever I looked for him at the church. And yet, whenever I begged him to play childish games with me, he would never turn me down. How time flies, and we don't see each other as much now that we've grown up, but our bond remains strong. And when he grew up, he took on more responsibilities at the church and for the people. Compelled by duty, he takes others in his stride with nary a complaint. He's been through a lot. I don't doubt his capabilities, but he can't resolve all of the problems of Verona by himself. Plus, there's the devil. Are you worried about him? He's been working so hard, and who wouldn't be concerned? I'm just asking why you're so defensive. Alright, I teach you enough for today. Lauren, he's always so serious, and perhaps there's something in his past. Well, he was adopted by a church guy. It's lucky he wasn't hunchback, otherwise they would have left him to rot in like a bell tower. But then again, the hunchback of Notre Dame was only left to rot in a bell tower in the Disney version. In the movie, he could walk outside just fine, and he would always leave the church with, like, they made him more pure evil in like the Disney version, while in the other one, he was more medieval evil. Whatever, who cares? Bellona's once been got a tragic memory. The plague. 17 years ago, a deadly plague swept through Verona. And while the official source of the outbreak was never uncovered, poor public sanitation, mass riots, and unrest were a significant factor. Lauren's mother died from that plague. Oh, no wonder he chose to become a doctor. And at the heart of the crisis, the Montagues and Capulets negotiated a truce, and both families opened their estates to treat the house and the sick. And then they also got ill. Father told me that Lawrence was very young when he and his mother were admitted for treatment. Seeing how upset I am, Bellona gently holds my hand. It must have been tough for him. It was. He was just a child when his mother succumbed to the illness, leaving him in a city surrounded by bleakness. And I feel my chest tightening at the mere thought, and how the young Lawrence coped with such a tragedy. It must have been an absorbing thought, and Bellona gives a concerned pat on my arm. What happened after that? Did uncle take him into the bishop? Yes, father said that it didn't take long for Lawrence to pull himself together and start helping others. Father was impressed by his action, and that's why he brought Lawrence to the bishop. So that's how the bishop adopted him. And how did you meet Lawrence? We practically grew up together, and he often kept me company after his adoption, and perhaps out of the gratitude to father. I see, no wonder you two are inseparable despite your spats. Yes, he's my best friend, Anne. He's my best friend. The images of Lawrence past and present met in my mind, and he has cared for me all along in his own gentle and awkward way. He rushes to my aid whenever I'm in danger or distress. Well, but as the math one showed, nice guys finish last. But I'm no longer a little girl who needs protecting, and I can share his burden and help him achieve his dream. And I want to work hand in hand with him for the good of everyone. And the next chance I get, I must find out the truth.